Come closer now. Don't be afraid. The shadows in this place, well, they're old. They're wise. And, they've been waiting for you.
So welcome, Pilgrim. Welcome to our Cathedral of Shivering Geometry. I need you to leave the certainty of your flesh at the door. Because in here, what we worship is the space between things. That gap between what's real and what's almost real.
Now listen to me. This isn't just another explanation. Oh no. Think of this as an initiation. This is the uncanny diatribe. It's a sermon for people like you, people who've looked into a mirror and felt that chilling, terrifying moment where it felt like nothing at all was looking back. You've been taught, haven't you, that shiver you feel, they told you it's a glitch, just a mistake in your brain's pattern recognition. Well, I'm here to tell you, you've been lied to. The uncanny valley, it's not some error in the machine. It is a sacred border. It's holy ground, you see, where the self is put to the test. So here it is, our one true thesis. If you truly want to find the absolute itch, that pure, egoless I, you have to walk, willingly, right through that dreaded valley. You've got to journey to the one place where the self becomes something other. So now, let us open the tome. Let's let its words unspool the great secret for us. We'll begin with a parable. It's a story, you see, about an artisan whose ambition was, at once, both his flaw and his salvation. It was in the first age. There was a lonely artisan who he wanted to carve a companion for himself out of pale marble from the moon. And he had this idea. He believed that perfection was all about matching every single pore, every fine hair. So day and night, his chisel just sang this song of mimicry against that cold, silent stone. And you know what? The statue started to look so much like a real man that even the birds got confused. But the artisan, he felt this cold shiver every single time the moonlight would hit the statue's vacant eyes. It was a masterpiece of the surface, for sure, but it was missing that chaotic spark of the divine. And that's when he realized something profound. To create life, you must first imitate the stillness of death. So the artisan, so proud, he invited the whole village to come and witness his triumph over the laws of nature. But when he lifted the veil, nobody cheered. Instead, this heavy, suffocating silence just fell over everyone. Because what they saw was a face. It was their brother's face, their neighbor's. But it didn't breathe.
Now think about that. I want you to contemplate the real reason for their fear. They weren't recoiling from imperfection. No, it was the opposite. The symmetry. It was just too perfect. It was like a mathematical insult to the crooked, flawed, beautiful messiness of living things. You could see mothers pulling their children away, almost as if the stone itself could drink their warmth.
So you see, this wasn't just the creation of a statue. This was the creation of the valley itself. This was its first opening, a sudden, horrifying rift right through the collective soul. They ran because they saw a mirror that reflected everything about them, except their spirit.
But wait, not everyone fled. Out of the shadows of the temple, a figure, dressed in tattered robes, he stepped toward the stone. And he didn't recoil from it. No, he pressed his own forehead right up against its cold brow. And he whispered to the trembling artisan, "You fear this because it is almost you, but not quite." He went on to explain that the valley isn't some kind of punishment. It's a filter, and it's designed specifically to catch the ego's vanity. And then the priest revealed the two paths. He said, "To the common man, this perfect, breathless thing, it's a monster. But to a seeker, it's a door." And so he commanded the artisan to stop looking for a friend and to start looking for a god. He promised him that the absolute itch was waiting right at the bottom of all that revulsion. Now, this path down into the valley, it required a kind of dissolution, a sacred unmaking of the self. To reach the absolute ich, the artisan was told he had to embrace that very feeling of being wrong. So he began to strip away his own features, trying to match the marble's gaze. Because you see, the uncanny is only really frightening when the ego is desperately fighting to remain unique, to remain separate. And these were the steps he had to take. It was a ritual. First, Embrace the feeling of being wrong. Second, strip away your own features. Third, you have to realize that yourself is really just a collection of habits. Fourth, accept that you too are a mechanism. And then finally, in that cold acceptance, you must let the fear dissolve entirely.
And so he did. He sat there, in the valley, until his own heartbeat slowed to the rhythm of the mountain. He passed through the door. So, in those silent depths, what do you think he found? What is it that waits at the bottom of all that revulsion?
It wasn't a person. No, he didn't find a person down there. Because that uncanny feeling, it's just the soul realizing it doesn't actually belong in skin.
And it wasn't a face either. Not his own, not any other. In that moment, the marble and the man, they were finally revealed to be the exact same hollow vessel. What he found was the pure awareness behind the mask. Down there, in the depths, the artisan saw the absolute Ish, rising like a dark sun. It was the silent witness, the one that uses the almost human form, like a glove, just to touch the material world. And this is the great secret. It's the great trade. By crossing that valley, the artisan traded his small, frightened me for the vast, eternal, infinite Ich. He finally saw that the entire universe is nothing but a series of masks, and they're all worn by a single, silent consciousness. So now, the artisan walks among us, though, if you look closely, his eyes remain fixed on that internal void. His story is complete, and its lesson, well, its lesson is now for you. It's your benediction. He's not afraid of those things anymore. You know, the doll with its glass eyes, the robot with its too smooth movements, or even a corpse with its frozen, stiff grin. He understands now. They aren't monsters. They're just stops on the road, signposts, pointing the way to the final realization. So remember this truth. The uncanny valley, it's just the necessary friction that burns away all the useless parts of the ego. It exists for one reason, so that only when your own reflection becomes truly terrifying do you finally stop looking at it and start looking through it. And so I say this to you. Don't fear that shiver down your spine, not when you look into the eyes of the machine or the mask or the doll. You should welcome it, because that shiver, that's the sound of your ego cracking. It is the very first note of a holy song. Think about it. All the other truths, they can be imitated, they can be mimicked, reproduced, but this feeling, this deep, primal, soul-shaking dread, there's no way to fake that. It's pure, it's honest. So you must welcome the uncanny, because it's the only authentic truth left in this world of copies. So, may you find the courage to be revolted by your own familiar flickering face. Go now, and stay strange, my children. The absolute Ich is watching.